have those individuals, they're usually older women, but they just have like a already strong perfume and they applied it thick. You know, like they didn't do the spritz and do like the little waterfall and you kind of dance in it. They said, I am aiming for every area, every single body part. I'm just thinking about like the whiff of that strong perfume in my nostrils. Hello, coffee cake. Welcome to my cozy, crazy, convicting, and cringy cafe. I'm Mocha, medium roast, barista, and host. And at Cafe Mocha, every ounce of our caffeinated ideas will brew up a latte fun with you all. Hello, my coffee cakes, and welcome back for another episode of Imperial Grace, which is such a great Otome game. It is only a demo, but we have experienced a lot in what seems to be like 2 days. If you have not caught up with the series, I'm gonna go ahead and refer you to some of the past videos before you get to this video, because we don't need any spoilers in your journey of figuring out what is next and who is next possibly and what decision is next. My gosh, this game can be a bit it's like life, you know, you make decisions and then you regret them. Yeah. But that's the beauty of life as well. And Empress Mocha here is going to go on another adventure with you all. If you're not already following, or please do subscribe if you like the video. If you like and enjoy this video, please actually press the like button. It's not inferred that you like the video because you watched it, right? And and you know what? I see that my watch time is a lot lower than I expected it to be for the coffee cake community. So please like the video if you're enjoying this series. That'll give me an idea if I should continue it or just junk it. So that would be greatly appreciated. And with that being said, let's head on to the video. Your Grace, this is a little bit premature, but should you become Empress, you will need to manage the kingdom's policies. I like to make sure you're ready for such a task. Actually, you don't know what I do for a living. I am up for that task, sir. No, maybe. I mean, when I said that, I meant that I'm up to the task, but I'm also up for learning, because I am a grower. I'm a learner, a lifelong learner. As you already know, the kingdom's policies influence how your subjects, noble or otherwise, view you, but also what resources will be available to us. This is important, I see. You can set tax rates for the people and the nobility. Gollies. As you may have guessed, the higher they are, the less happy the people will be, but the faster the coffers will fill up. Coffers? I mean, what does that mean? But there are many other things, much more subtle. For example, you can decide how to open trade our borders should be. How open our trade borders should be, should say. Or which sectors of the economy you'd like to focus on. We must also consider how to protect ourselves from our neighbors, especially bearing in mind Vargas's warlike inclinations, but maintaining an army is very, very expensive. As such, investing in diplomacy may offer better results in the long run. I don't know. Diplomacy, I don't know. And finally, we have to manage the cardinals. Their influence on the people is immense, and they have infrastructures all over the nation. Offerings made to them are never wasted. So paying for them to be like the messenger to the people. We set up regular periods of time during which we collect earnings, but there will be a short delay before the consequences of any changes you make can be seen. Interesting. So they're not immediate consequences, which could be a great thing or a horrible thing, actually. The story alternates with phases of gameplay, which are triggered between two scenes. During these phases, you will be able, among other things, to modify your kingdom's general policies. Gains will be disturbed at the end of the gameplay phase. I think I understand, but don't quote me. Is that clearer now? No. I feel like I would have been more clear if I didn't read that. Yes, even if it's all very theoretical. That's right, but the best way to approach the subject in a more concrete manner is to look into it yourself. Even if I'll only be doing this work after my coordination, may I try my hand at it now? I'm sure there are things, you like how my voice changed there? I'm sure there are things I'd like to change in my father's policies. That sounds most excellent to me. Gosh, this is a... Gosh, okay, let's adjust my eyes for this. Okay, the people will understand if you receive a moderate amount of money. Okay. You will help finance a good part of the temples and academies around the realm. Okay. Small taxes are levied on products traded between countries. Wait, if I press this, does it change? Oh, it does. Okay, let's check it out from the start. The people will be happy, but you'll earn little money. The people will be angry, but money will flow endlessly. Okay, let's keep that moderate for now. We might change this, all right? I said for now. Offerings. Heavy taxes. We live in they're freely able to come and sell. Foreign traders? Yeah, I don't think let's have it controlled for now. Your economy will be focused on exploitation of raw sources. You will focus on craftsmanship, especially level royalty items. Farming, your economy will be focused on agriculture. I think it's always to be good to especially, yeah, let's keep farming. You will properly maintain your current army. It'll be reduced, but they'll be cheaper to maintain. Expand, you'll recruit new soldiers to expand your army. I'm leaving that for now. You will send at least one ambassador to each neighboring country. You will send a full delegation to all neighboring. Yeah, let's say one. Let's say one. We can change this, right? I'm gonna put one. I think that's reasonable. I'm okay with this. I'm definitely okay with this. I'm actually okay with all of these three. Just want to make sure that's on. Now these are a bit tricky to me. I feel like I'm spending a lot of money with these three happening. I get 3 money, I get 1 money. I want to leave it like this, but I feel like we're spending so much money. I'm going to say moderate. I would like this to be high, but I just got to see what my finances do for now. That's not very good steward-like. That's not very good steward-like. Let's just see what happens. Wait, was I supposed to say reinitiate? No, huh? Gosh, Your Highness, Your Highness. Dawn had barely risen when I heard a kerfuffle at the door, and I immediately recognized Robert's voice. I got up with a groan and quickly slipped on a dress, trying to make myself presentable before opening the door. High Priest, what's going on? I tried to remain as neutral as possible, but I was burning up with a mix of anxiety and excitement because I had a solid guess as to what this was about. The Quadrator, he answered, Your Majesty. Nervous, he handed me 2 letters bearing the recognizable seal of His Holiness. Your name is written on them. I didn't dare open them, Your Highness. Exhilarated, I looked at the 2 pieces of paper that were about to seal my future. Yes, because this was the paper I sent because I wanted to get his buy-in to me being the Empress. Yeah, I remember that. One seemed official, while the other was explicitly for my eyes only. I would have liked to be alone when reading them both, but clearly it had taken Robert all he had not to break the wax seal on the official letter, and he now stared at me impatiently. My throat was dry as I grabbed a paper cutter to open the correspondence, and my heart was beating so fast I had the impression everyone in the room could hear it. Oh gosh, that's bright. Lady Lydia of Turnefel, daughter of Magnus V. of Turnefel the Fierce, Emperor of Chaldea. The 4 have spoken and have recognized you as the legitimate heir of the Crone of Chaldea, by virtue of blood and despite your gender. By this decree, I convey the word of the one and only living God. May have your government be respected by all the just and the pious. May you rule, prosper, and never stray from God. Okay. Okay. I was shaking so hard I felt my legs give in, and I had to sit on the bed so I didn't fall over. I had done everything in my power to make this moment happen, but now that it was upon me, I was engulfed by all the emotions I had accumulated in the past week. Robert seemed to understand me, and he bowed to leave me a few long seconds so I could take the Quadrator's words. Finally, he spoke up. That's marvelous, Your Majesty. I knew the four would acknowledge your legitimacy. How did he know that this was a look of happiness? Like, I just said I had a bunch of emotions. How do you know what the letter said? Almost timidly, I nodded and tried to recover my usual composure. With the Quadrator's support, my coordination was sure to happen, but that didn't mean I was rid of enemies or other contenders. I couldn't let my guard down yet. Yes, the time has come for everyone to know the truth. Gather the nobles in the castle at dawn and prepare the pigeons. He nodded, a grave expression on his face. Yes, we cannot wait any longer. The secret of your father's death couldn't have been kept indefinitely, in any case. It was true that his absence had been going on for a while, and a possible illness worried people just as much as a possible death. It was fortunate that these letters hadn't taken too long to arrive. How long has it been? I'll be there. I'll need to finish getting ready. Of course, Your Majesty. I'll have the bells rung, but at such an early time, I don't suppose we can gather everyone in less than an hour. I approved with a polite nod, and soon I watched him leave and close the door. Finally on my own, I collapsed on the bed and let myself gloat. I whooped in pure childish joy as I read the Quadrator's letter over again and again. I knew that I had plenty of challenges ahead of me, but this was the first victory against traditions, and I intended to savor it for as long as I could. Only a few long minutes had passed did I decide to open the second letter, which was addressed to me personally. I done forgot all about that second letter. I'm over here like, hey, okay, Quadrator, okay, Quadrator, okay, Quadrator, okay. Lady Lydia, your messages came to me as a surprise. Even if I'm always wary of gossip, I still requested that inquisitors investigate the people you've mentioned. To my astonishment, your allegations were found to be correct, and the imposters have been stripped of their titles of scholars as well as their riches. It warms my heart to know that the throne of Chaldea is in the hands of a pious and clairvoyant empress. I am personally praying for your rule's prosperity. Thank you. Happy with my decision, I sighed and carefully put the letter away into my desk. Pretty promises were easy to forget. I could perhaps use a parchment to remind him of his support one day, or to show some reluctant noble just how popular I was with one of the most powerful men on the continent. In any case, I believed that my actions had managed to sway him, and I was quite proud of that. Now it was the core I had to sway, and I knew this wasn't going to be an easy task. I am not Empress yet. I thought I was. I thought it was that easy. I thought it was just a letter. Make sure not to overexert yourself, Lydia. You're spending your days locked up in this office. You should get out a bit and clear your head. Come take a walk with an old lady. I left the door open, and although I hadn't heard Marjorie come over to me, I wasn't surprised since her perfume, which she applied too liberally, had filled the room. I almost felt nostalgic for a moment. You ever have those individuals, they're usually older women, but they just have like a already strong perfume and they applied it thick. You know, like they didn't do the spritz and do like the little waterfall and you kind of dance in it. They said, I am aiming for every area, every single body part. I'm just thinking about like the whiff of that strong perfume in my nostrils. Even if it had made me happy to see her, my presence in my office wasn't guided by fun. I was overwhelmed with invitations, requests, promises. I'd spent the past 3 days flattering the Chaldean nobility to ensure that nothing would jeopardize my coordination in 3 weeks' time, and I still had a lot left to do. Oh, perhaps you can fool everyone else, but I know you're far from being an old lady, Marjorie. My reply made her laugh, a hoarse, and joyous sound that belied what I had just said. Oh, I still have that. I still have that quaint. What? Oh, I still have that same quick wit I had when I was 20. But I'm afraid my whining bones disagree with you, sweetheart. Come on, don't be cruel. You already broke my poor heart when you didn't let me in on the secret. I pull my quill down with a sigh and close the inkwell, hoping its content will not dry out. She had taught me many things, and even if I had grown stronger than her in a few areas, it was obvious that she would still use guilt like no one else. She almost made me feel bad for hiding my father's death from her. You know full well I didn't have a choice. The information had been disclosed to as few people as possible. I know, sweetheart, but I would have liked to be there for you. These past few days mustn't have been easy. No, they weren't indeed. Oh, we're outside for a change. Look at that. The sun is in my hair and okay. As promised, I quietly walked in Marjorie's side through the garden, but we couldn't take one step before some servant or noble offered me their condolences. I'm so tired of pretending to be sad. I thought we weren't. I know your father was a man of many flaws, but he was your family, your blood. You shouldn't have hate him this vividly. It's not healthy, especially now that he's dead. No, that's too easy. I can't just die. You can't just die and expect that all your mistakes will be forgiven. She sighed and decided to change the subject before I had listened to another lecture on the importance of family bonds. I mean, it's not a bond if he's dead, right?
Oh, dang.
But since we're speaking of forgiveness, I need your help. Suspicious, she frowned, although she kept walking calmly between the flower beds. I would like it if you gave me fears for Castle? What is that? That old fortress, what for? Pretending to admit some insects that were flying around the planters, I hesitated for a second. I needed the fortress to buy the Faram's loyalty, but Marjorie held a deep hatred for them. Okay. I didn't like lying to her, but I couldn't run the risk that she would refuse my request. Tell her the truth. Like, I feel like I don't know her much, so she might hate it and not like it, and she might say no, but I don't like, I need it because I'm going to give it back to the Farum. Upon hearing my words, Marjorie froze, trembling with anger. You want to give it back to those vile traitors? Do you know how many men died storming it? Do you know what this fortress cost me? I knew she would react this way. Even though the war had ended about 20 years ago, she still bore painful memories of it. Yes, I know all that, but it all took place before my birth. It's time we move forward and reconcile with the Farum. Least we repeat the mistakes of the past. I don't want another Farum revolt under my rule. I need their support for my coordination, and to obtain that support, I need Faircastle. You know just as well as I do, it's only a ruin now, an old pile of rubble left on steep and barren land. It's nothing more than a symbol. My old aunt grumbled for a few long minutes, but she was forced to concede my point, even if it cost her. Do what you want, but believe me, once you become Empress, I'll call in the favor. I don't like that. Thank you, Marjorie. I know I can count on you. Relieved, I finally let out a breath that I hadn't realized I've been holding. Knowing the affection Marjorie held for me, I knew that I ended up convincing her. But also I had a meeting with Farum Air in 4 days, and I didn't have a lot of room for errors. For one less issue weighing on my heart, I continued my walk with a bounce in my step, forgetting for a few minutes that the court's problems and plots.